Good morning, everyone. I'm Jasmine Sidhu, and I welcome you all to my yet another session of online classes. Today, I'll be taking up the second chapter mentioned in English book Beehive of Class 9, prescribed by CBSE. The name of the chapter is The Sound of Music, and it is penned down by Deborah Colley. She has divided this chapter into two parts, and today I'll be taking up the explanation for part 1. Let's see the subtitle of this chapter. It states Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Now, if you see, the title is looking so interesting and it is creating a curiosity among the readers that how a girl who is not able to listen, who is having hearing impairment, is actually able to listen to the sound. So let's have a look at this chapter, that how this young girl has made her story a success story. Now, let me give you the introduction of the chapter. This is an inspiration story of a young Scottish girl named Evelyn who achieved the greatest heights in the field of music despite the hearing impairment. She proved that there is always a way out of the challenges of life. The important thing that we need to remember is that we need to trace the way and adhere to it with unstaggering faith in one's abilities. Now, this bio sketch of Evelyn is giving us a very strong message, and that is that handicaps may be countered, problems may be overcome, and aspirations can be realized if one is confident and firmly resolute. Those who learn to overcome hardships, adversities of life, they certainly achieve the highest goal in their life. Now, let me introduce you to the characters. Evelyn Glennie, she is the protagonist over here, and the whole story revolves around her. Her full name is Evelyn Elizabeth N. Glennie, and she was born on 19 July 1965 at Aberdeenshire, Scotland. She is a multi percussionist and can play 1,000 instruments with perfection. The second important character over here is Ron Forbes. His original name is Ronald Forbes, and he was born in 1947 in Barraco, Berkshire, Scotland. He was the one who spotted the potential in Evelyn and decided to hone her skills. And the third important character over here is Isabel Glennie. She's the mother of Evelyn Glennie. Now let's read these beautiful lines penned down by James Blade. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. Now, let me tell you first who is James Blade. James Blade was one of a renowned percussionist of those times. Once in 1980, he held a workshop at Aberdeenshire, that is the birthplace of Evelyn. Over there, he spotted this young girl. He was amazed to see her talent, and because he had seen the talent, he invited her in 1982 for audition for Royal Music of Academy in London. The scores which Evelyn scored over there amazed everyone because she scored one of the highest scores in the history of the academy. James Blaze, he was overwhelmed to see the amazing talent in this young girl. But the surprising factor was that when he came to know that she is deaf, he was speechless. He didn't have words to describe the talent of this young girl. And he admitted her in the Royal Music Academy of London, and from there, the success story of this young girl started. Now, when he spoke these lines, it was in 1991 when Evelyn received an award for her solo performance. At that time, he spoke these lines in honor of Evelyn. Now let's start the summary of the chapter. Your first paragraph describes us about a railway platform scene where we'll see that the girl is jostling. Jostling means, you know, pushing roughly. The people over there, they were, jostling with each other to make a way for themselves and to make a position for themselves on the platform. And this girl was among those people. Now, why was she there? She was actually 17 years old, and if you remember that I told you that James Blade had auditioned her for the Royal Music Academy, and she was scoring the highest marks. And now this was her first day to go and join that academy. Now, to join that academy, she was nervous as well as excited. Why? Because she belonged to a small town and she was going to the urban city, right? So she was feeling a little insecure that how she will cope up the problems over there. And the second most challenging thing for her was that she was profoundly deaf. Profoundly means deeply deaf. The second paragraph now puts us in the flashback. It's telling us the story of Evelyn, that how she was diagnosed with this disease of hearing impairment. The mother over here says that the hearing loss of Evelyn was gradual, and she remembered the incident, that how the story started. She remembers that when Evelyn was 8 years old and was waiting to play the piano, and the teachers called her name, she did not move, she did not react. At that point, the mother came to know that something is wrong with her daughter. Now, for quite some time, she was able to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers, because she was feeling that if they'll come to know, they'll laugh at her, they'll mock at her. But eventually, at the age of 11, when her marks started deteriorating, at that time, headmistress, she urged her parents to take her to the doctor. Now, when they went to the doctor had diagnosed her, and he came to know that her hearing was severely impaired, and it was due to the result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to the school for the deaf. Now, at that point of time, everything suddenly looked black for Evelyn, right? Because she felt that joining a deaf school, tagging herself to be a deaf girl, will be a great challenge for her. But she was lost for some time, but she was able to recover from that shock, and she decided that she cannot give up like this. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. Now, one fine day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone, and she also wanted to play it. Now, to move ahead in this line, she approached certain teachers, but all the teachers negated her, they discouraged her. But then she was lucky enough to find percussionist Ron Forbes, who noticed her potential, and he began her training by tuning two large drums to different notes. He guided her that you should not listen through your ears, rather you should sense it by some other way. Suddenly she realized that she could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down. Now Forbes repeated the exercise every day, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. Thus, she learned to open her mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. But it was shown that from that point of time, she never looked back. Now, the story is starting and getting connected to the first paragraph. As I told you, that she was waiting on a railway platform, and she was going to join the Royal Academy of Music. And now the story moves further. These three paragraphs were about the flashback of her childhood days. Now, when she reached the academy, right, because she has scored one of the highest marks in the history of academy, she started her training over there. She toured United Kingdoms with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. Now, how she was progressing in her life, she gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. Orchestral work, you understand, playing in the group. Now, from that group performances, she moved to perform single handedly and that too with perfection. And at the end of 3 year course, she had captured most of the top awards. Now, in one of the interviews of her exciting, journey of life, she discussed, rather, she told the journalist that the awards which she had got, they no doubt make a difference in her life. They act as the catalyst. They give her motivation. But apart from that, she explained to the journalist that it was her sheer, hard work which took her to the pinnacle of her career. The journalist, on contrary, said that it was so fascinating to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. Now, in her conversation with the journalist, in her 2 hour discussion, she never missed a single word. Rather, Evelyn, she quoted that men with bushy beards gave her trouble, right? And then she laughed because she told that it was not that she is just concentrating on the formation of the lips, but it is the whole face and especially the eyes which she sees and try to understand the body language and the words, and that is how she is able to connect what the person sitting or standing in front of her is saying. And as far as music is concerned, Evelyn told the audience, the readers, the journalists, that it pours in through her every body part. It tinkles in the skin, her cheekbones, and even in her hair. When she plays the xylophone, she could sense the sound passing up the stick into fingertips. By leaning against the drums, she could feel the resonances flowing in her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. With so much of dedication, finally in 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist Award. That was a great achievement for this young girl. Now, the author tells us that apart from the regular concerts where she has been playing the instruments flawlessly, she also used to give free concerts in prisons and hospitals. It was basically for the people, those who were in prisons and the hospitals, to entertain them, to give a change in their life, to break the monotony of the life which they were leading in hospitals and prison. And it was done free of cost without charging anything. She also gave high priority to classes for young musicians. Now, the owner of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says that she was a shining star for deaf children. She is also, working for the welfare of deaf children. And Richard, she says that the inspiration which the deaf children get by looking at the work of Evelyn, that is an inspiration. They have a, conviction in them. They have hope for them that if she can, then why cannot we? So, in fact, Evelyn is a great inspiration for all those who suffer from physical disabilities. She has brought percussion at a certain platform. She had made people to recognize percussion as a profession, as something which can be taken as a profession by everyone for the people of every age. So that is all about this chapter, children. I hope you might have liked my content and video. If you have liked my video, don't forget to subscribe. Let the bell ring, and as the bell ring, we'll be able to send you the notification for my next upcoming videos. Thank you so much.